Guys, so now we're going to move on to the first floor. So by now you should have your ground floor done. You've got your windows and doors in, and your internal walls. So now we need to create the first floor, the actual floor for our first floor. Okay, so let's get my other plan back on. Again, this one is based on this level here. So we need to create a floor, and then we need to create the walls, and then doors and windows after that again. So same process on this bit. So hopefully this bit you can go a bit more faster at, because you should have had a bit of initial experience on the ground floor. So if you double click on first floor, because we want to create the floor on the first floor. Before we move on, a couple of things to note here is you might or might not see the grey lines. Okay, so the grey lines here indicates the underlay for the lower level below. Okay, you can actually specify what underlay you want to see it, and if you want underlays on and off. To do that, don't click anything. On the properties panel, you'll see underlay. Okay, now it's set to ground floor. You can click on none, that gets rid of it. You can click on ground floor, and it'll show you your ground floor. This is useful when you do commercial buildings or modern commercial buildings, when you want things to line through, and in terms of making sure walls are in the same place as other walls on floors above, or if you're trying to copy different floors on different levels, so you might want to look at a different level 3 levels below to map that floor plate in, or plan in, whatever. That is essentially where this comes in quite handy. For now, I don't really need it because my walls, I've got dimensions for my walls, so I don't really need it. It doesn't need to line through, but that's where that functionality comes in. So underlay is none for me for now. Okay. So to create a floor again, if you go to architecture floor, same thing applies. If you There's only one type of floor that we're using, so that doesn't really matter for now. But again, if you were creating an internal floor, you might need to select an internal floor type for your floor. So again, we're going to use the pick wall tool. So we're going to click on all the internal walls, or internal surface of the wall, sorry. Make sure the purple line is there and there's no gaps or anything in it. There shouldn't be, if you use that tool, there shouldn't be any gaps, because it shouldn't overlap anything. And then click yes, because what you want to do is saying, do you want to attach the floors to the walls below? Yes, we want to do that. And do you want to overlap the geometry with the walls? Yes, so the floor and the wall will overlap in the section and that kind of stuff. So click yes to both of those. If I go back to my 3D, click escape, that's the floor now in. Okay, so now it's like starting from the ground floor up again. We need to create our walls, and then the windows and doors will go into that. So we'll start to model that in. So we'll click on first floor again. Again, internal walls. I will do the same as I did before. I will map in. I will kind of draw in, sketch in, roughly what I can see on my plan, and then I'll adjust the dimensions to be as accurate as possible. Okay, so if you just follow my plan and kind of as you can, and then the little nib there. Again, click escape when you need to click escape. Start again. If you just make sure you use the endpoints to start where you finish off, and then it comes down here, something like that. And then click escape a couple of times, and then I think it does for this third room here, we've got something like that. And then we've got another bathroom wall here, so again, endpoint there, so it joins up with that line and then finishes off there. So when you click on endpoint, it makes sure that it kind of ensures that these lines are exactly the way it should be, so there's no kind of, it's not like steps in that wall joint. And I think that's roughly where what the plan looks like. Now it's time to adjust it like before. So we're going to go through this and start to adjust it. So again, we click on a wall and then look at where the timing dimensions are taken from. So this one's from here to here. That is fine because on my plan, that's what it's showing. So internal surface is 1900 for that wall. This wall is not from there to there. So if this wall is from here to here, it's telling me it's 2000. So if I drag that little blue dot to this wall, I can adjust that 2000. And then here, this wall, it's from this wall to this wall, it's telling me it's 2690. 90, enter. Oh, sorry, made a mistake there. This wall should have been 2200, not 2200. That gives you them. So that's where that little nib comes in on the corner there. And then if I go move down, this wall here should be from this wall to this wall is, if I drag this up to here, 3240. Enter. Let's move that. This wall is telling me from here to here on my plan it's 1860. Enter. And then it's telling me on this wall it is here to here on the surface at 3800. Enter. And this final wall is 1705 from the bottom wall there, so 1705. Enter. And that should be the plan as per my plan. Okay, so that's the first floor plan. As I said, if you follow that process, you should get roughly thereabouts. Said I won't worry if it's coming a little off here and there, but you should get that if you followed my plan. Sometimes the wall thickness is kind of adjusted slightly by millimeters, but for the most part you should get to that point. Okay, so here we've got our plan. So what we're going to do now is same thing again. We're going to add the doors. So doors, you can pick and choose the doors. I'm going 900, so we can pick and choose the doors. So flips the door, spacebar, and then maybe put a door in here, and then another door here, and then another door there. I just noticed they're a bit too big, so I go back in. If you want to select all the doors in that view, for example, these are all too big and I want to change it to lower size, I can select that and type in SA on my keyboard, and that selects all those doors on that plan, and basically select all, so SA, and then I can change all of them to the smaller size door if I want, so I don't have to do them manually individually. So that's another little shortcut within Revit. Another thing we're going to do now is add in our windows. So windows you can add in as you did before manually. So if I go in there, I can add in windows here. I'll add in the window here and a window here, window here. I'm going to leave this window here for now because I'm going to do something else in a couple of minutes on that one. So I'll just put in something there. So I've added some windows. Now, if you've got a situation where you want the same windows, for example, if I want that exact same window in the exact same position on the first floor for that window there to make sure that those two line up exactly. A couple of ways you can do it. The easiest way of doing it is go into your ground floor, select that window, click copy. So on the modify tool up there, click copy, which is that little second tool from the top on the clipboard panel. Copy to clipboard. Go to the first floor. Then paste, but extend the paste tool. Okay, so click on the little triangle at the bottom, and then align to selected level. So what that's going to do is take that window and put it onto a level. Copy that window onto a level that you select at the exact position, exact type that you've selected. Okay, so if I go and select that, and I'll click, I want to move that to the first floor, or copy that to the first floor. That now is the exact same window, size, properties, everything else, dimensions off the walls, and everything as that ground floor, because that's copied it onto that level. Okay, now that's very useful when you do commercial buildings, when you have a number of things that you want to copy and paste onto different levels, but you want it in the exact same position. In which case, that saves a lot of time. So that's a little tool I would always remember when you're doing copying and pasting between different levels. It means that everything will be exactly the same position on different levels as you paste them. So you don't have to align anything when you're doing any of that kind of thing. So again, you can look around. So you might want to change things if you want. So again, you can pick and choose your windows and where they go. I'm not too concerned about that. So you can pick and choose your sizes. So again, width, you can make that whatever you want. And then take it, drag them, or use the dimensions to change where they go. I'm going to put that one here. This one, I'm going to put that as 400 or 500. Again, the heights, you can change the height. So this one, I might want that to go to almost to the floor. So I want a tall window on top of the staircase. So I'm going to put a sill height of 150. So that's just above the plasterboard. And then the height, I want that to be 210. So it's quite a tall window. So if I go to my 3D now, You can see that's there. So that's quite a tall window on top of the staircase from floor to ceiling, or almost floor to ceiling. So yeah, you can adjust if you want that kind of type of window. Again, you can adjust any of that kind of shapes of windows. Up to you. I'll leave that to you. So this one I might want to make that slightly higher. So sill, I might put that sill as 800 and make the height of that 900. So bathroom window. That will just change that slightly. Yep. Okay, so I'm happy with that. So if I go back to my 3D, that is my windows and doors put in there.